Hello and welcome to the fourth part of our pivot table series. In this video, we'll explore more powerful techniques that will elevate your data analysis game. These advanced tips will help you utilize the full potential of pivot tables. Let's dive in. Our first tip for creating pivot table is to use table instead of the data range. So you have data here and you want to convert it into pivot table. So first thing what you should do, you should convert this data range into table. How you can convert this? We'll just shortly show it. But why we will convert it? There are two reasons. One, your data will be in the structured format. Each column has unique header and data is organized in rows. And second reason is the automatic expansion of the data means when you add new data to the table by appending rows, it automatically expands to include the new data, formulas, and other things. So in pivot table, those changes which you will do in the source data will be reflected automatically. So let's convert this one into uh, the table. So how we convert it? Just press first click on any cell where data exists and then press Ctrl and T. This dialog box will appear where you have where is the data for your table, which is automatically selecting the range where your whole data exists. And my table has header means like the table is the first row of the table containing the header for each column. So I will just press OK. Now my data has been converted into table. So this is the first step. Now for this data, we will create pivot table just to demonstrate other tips which we want to tell you. So here you have the table 1, you can see, which is this table because by default the table name is given as table 1, 2, 3 like this way. But here we can change table name also. For example, if we go into table design, you can see here table name is coming table 1, but we can change it. Now we create, we are inserting pivot table here for this table 1. So it is showing the pivot table now. Now in this pivot table, here comes our second tip, which is always you see the pivot table by default in this format. But if you want, you can customize the view. So how you can customize? You can pick here the setting and then you can choose, for example, this setting. In this case, your fields are coming on one side and filters, rows, columns, and values, these four areas are coming on the other side. And you can have fields only also. You can have those four areas only also. And you can have those four areas as like in the sequence also. We prefer the default value, for example, here. This is our second tip, like how you can customize the view of the pivot table structure. Now, the third tip is about inserting the calculated fields in the pivot table. Say, for example, you need to have another field in your pivot table, which is based on the other fields you can calculate based on some formula. So if you want to insert any calculated field, you can go into pivot table analyze tab. Under that tab, you have the calculations group where you have fields, item, and sets. So here, if you click on calculated field, it will allow you to insert the calculated field in pivot table. So let's say I say here total profit this column should be added. So in this case, I have to provide the formula also. So formula, say for example, I say profit multiply by some unit sold. If I press OK, this is not only selected, inserted, but also selected for the pivot table. I can show this by product wise, for example, here. So this is our third tip. So let's take more data into our pivot table to actually show our fourth tip. So I will take country here, for example. Maybe I can remove this total profit and I can put gross sale. So now you can see the gross sale country wise. Our fourth tip is to use or show report separately by the filter. So you can see here segment filter is there. If I want to have report which can show for each value of this filter as a separate report, this is easily possible. So how can you do that? You can go to pivot table analyze tab. In this you have pivot table tab. There you have options. One of the option is show report filter pages. If you click on this, it will ask if there are multiple filter, like in this case only segment filter. If I say OK, then show all report filter pages of segment pages. So here you can see it is the first value of that filter, separate report, is the second value of the filter, separate report. This way it has all the reports. So this is our original pivot table. Let's go to the next tip. Our next tip is about grouping and binning the data. How you use that one? Normally, if you have numeric data or the time related data, then you want to group them in certain range. So how can we do that? First of all, we need to have uh, in our pivot table that column which we want to address through grouping. So let's say for this purpose, first we are taking a numeric field which is unit sold. Now I want to group certain or make a bin of certain unit range to see how many of them are sold in that range. So for that purpose, I will come into that particular value of that field. For example, I can pick this one and I will say right click here and I will select group. It will ask me, actually it is telling me that it is starting at 200, means the overall data has minimum value 200 and it is ending at 4492.5, which is like the last value in this whole data. And I can have this grouping based on 1000, like it will start from 200 to 1200 and then next value will be 2200. Like this way I can go by 500, I can go by 100. So let's take some value here. For example, I go by 500. Then what happens? Once I press OK, this whole data is divided into that range. For example, in this particular product, from 200 to 700 units sold, this much is the sale of that sum. From 700 to 1200, this is the sum of that range. Like this way, each product is divided. So this is the way you group the numeric field. Let's say I don't want to go for that grouping, but I want to go for the time-based grouping. In that case, I should have a time-related field. In this case, we'll take date, and we can do grouping on this date field. So I will right-click on this. I will say group, and it is asking me, it is showing me the starting date, ending date for the whole data, and it is asking me by seconds, minutes, hour, days, months, quarter, or year by which I want to group them. So here I can group, for example, by quarter. I will say by quarter. So the whole data has been divided into, like, for this product in this quarter, this much sale. So this is sometimes very useful to represent your data to the management. Let's say we want to highlight only those cells which are having some value, sales value greater than certain value. We can do that. We will go into home tab, and in that you have a style group. Within that you have conditional formatting. You can pick highlight cell rules and say like greater than when you have other options also. You can say for that this demonstration purpose we are taking this one greater than. So it is showing us that format cells that are greater than this value with highlight red fill with dark red text. So we are taking default value. So any value in these cells greater than this will be highlighted. Since we have applied this rule only on the one cell, so it is applied on this cell only. But here you can see a small icon. If you click on this, it will say all cells showing this value or all cells showing some of this value from the unit sold should be highlighted. So I will pick this one so that we can see all the values which are exceeding this particular value should be highlighted. So now you can see any value in the sale which is greater than this value is highlighted in red. So this is the easy way to show exceeding cell. Our next tip is about showing the difference between the columns. So if you see like this is the value which is against this unit sold. So if I want to know from this next value which is 707 how much the difference is coming between two value consecutively for all this I want to calculate, that is easier for me in pivot table. First of all, I will create a duplicate column like the same column which I have. In this case, I have sales. So I will add another sale column which will come as sale 2. So here just I will right click. I will say show value is as difference from the unit sold. So I can go by product, I can go by country, but here I am just taking as unit sold. This is the level through which it should compare the previous one with the existing one. So in this case, I say okay here. Now this one is showing how much is the difference coming in each running product sale between current one and the previous one. If you see, if you add this difference with the previous one, it will come the current value. Like this way, it carry on here. So this is the way you can come to know the difference. But if you want to know the, rather than this number, which is difficult to read, if you want to show it as percentage, this is also by default given. You can say here percentage difference from the previous one. So it is showing as percentage here. Our tip number 8 is about how can you see the details of each particular value calculated on the pivot table. For example, I want to see that how this value has been calculated. So I will just double click on that and it will open up a new sheet where the detail of this calculation has come. So here, if you calculate, for example, in this case, sale here, the total value coming here will match with our original sheet which is coming here. So this way, anytime you can see the detail about any calculation happening on the pivot table. Our tip number 9 is about showing the percentage of total. Let's clean up this one. Let's say this is the simple pivot table and I want to know the percentage each product is sold in terms of total sale. So I can first of all I can duplicate this sale again and here right click, say show value as percentage of grand total. So if you see this one, it is showing each product percentage wise how much it is sold. Our tip number 10 is about filtering the top values. So let's say we have this simple pivot table and we want to filter the top ones. So we can right click here and here we have filter and then we can say like top 10. It will bring the top 10 item, but this number of records are already less. So let's say we can take top 2 items by the sum of sales. So when we press this one, it will show only the top 2. If you have huge data, you can use this effectively. And there is another way also. Let me bring it back. The other way of ranking this is actually if you right click on these values, you'll see show value as option and there you have rank largest to smallest or smallest to largest. If you click largest to smallest, it will rank this based on the product which has the highest in terms of sale and then rank number 1 for that product. So let's see this one. Here you can see this was highest in terms of sales, so it is rank 1 and accordingly next one is this and third one is this. So these are our uh, tips. These tips can be very handy in certain situations. So if you have any question or comment, please post the comment under the video. Do not forget to like our video. Thank you and see you again.